boat. So every morning I ride a boat, and every night I ride a boat.
And I'm sure some days like this, it's a pretty pleasant journey.
It's always a pleasant journey. Very seldom does it get bad.
Okay, even on those because Jeff was telling us about whiteout conditions, and sometimes it's kind of rough out
The
here.
whiteout conditions are pretty rare, and primarily at nights when that adds a dimension to it. There's been a few nights where there was one night it took me a couple hours to get out of here. Got down, got crossed up, didn't have radar on the boat we were on, so.
What's it like? What's your life like here at working at the powerhouse and living up here?
Living on the Skagit is interesting in itself. We're a small community. We live and work together, which has advantages and disadvantages, adds tension, adds a level of comfort. As far as working here, it's a good job in the sense that you get to feel like you accomplish stuff at the end of each day, and it's something it's demanding, and it pushes me to my limits. So that's the upside of it. So it keeps me on my toes, and I've always got something new to learn. So.
And as far as a whole system, just we're trying to give people a perspective of how the whole system works as well, how it works as a system. Ross, could you just give us a few details about Ross? Ross, I gather, is the main power generator. I mean, just Ross particularly, in layman language, what it
Okay.
does, what its output, stuff like that.
Ross Powerhouse can generate up to about 480 megawatts if everything was loaded to the max. There are some limitations because of the age of the equipment, various conditions that exist. So in general, we produce probably at full capacity right now about 420 if we were running wide open on everything. On an average day, I think we only generate about 150 megawatts. I can't remember the numbers right now, but it's significantly less. And actually on an average hourly, I think it's like 88 megawatts an hour or something like that. So we are primarily a standby operation. Now, the current situation is they want to get as much generation out of here because of the prices and condition of the market. So we're generating a little bit more in the spring. We also have runoff in the spring, so that's our peak season for generation. In the middle of summer, in the middle of winter, our generation drops off significantly. But we generate about 400 megawatts if you just want to round numbers, 400 megawatts that are transmitted out on the line and goes to Seattle from here.
And how does that work with Gorge and with Diablo?
There are a couple of switch yards on the Skagit, one at Diablo and one at Gorge. And we transmit our generation into the Diablo switch yard. And some of that goes to the city of Seattle, and some of it goes through the Gorge switch yard. And the Gorge Powerhouse puts into the Gorge switch yard, and Diablo switch yard, or Diablo generates into the Diablo switch yard. So it all comes together there to maintain a voltage on the system.
And is it a pretty cohesive system?
It's very cohesive. We're all dependent upon each other. If we lose load up here, we affect them. They pick it up. Their machines will instantly try to pick it up.
So this has to be kind of a well-oiled machine to work well.
Very much so. And the whole West Coast is tied together. The cause of blackouts has been that one or two generators drop off and other people aren't prepared to pick it up, so they start getting knocked offline. The system is limited on what kind of voltages it can run before breakers start opening.
Okay. Hey, Peter?
Yeah.
Have we asked the right questions or not?
One more question.
Sure.
I didn't hear whether you may have already covered this, but now I understand that.
Okay.
Okay. So the dams can be remotely operated from Seattle?
Yes. When the plants were first built, they were staffed 24 hours a day, and they could only be run locally here. In the early 70s, they started an automation program, and with the automation, they were able to get rid of the back shifts and allow the units to be operated from Seattle.
The way, especially shadows, the way, oh, I mean shades, darker shades are obtained, they are all, purple, red. Look at the blues. That blue dress has a lot of red pigments, and it's so vibrant. There's no, aside from the outline in black, and there's no black. It's really, chromatically speaking, I like that, those contrast very much. So I just go more, and then I think I would like the whole. I'm looking forward of seeing them in the permanent site, mounted side by side, because so far we saw them low, which is not the way to look at them. We saw them cramped in a small space, and again, it doesn't really pay an homage to these paintings. So I'm really looking forward of seeing them up high in their natural order, because then we will be able to appreciate the whole composition. This is not 3 paintings, this is a one set. So I'm sure I would like that very much.
all of us. But at the time you heard it, you thought, okay, Lola, this is another one of your stories. But it is because of that, it is because of those times that we had those conversations with their Lolos and Lolas, that it has given me that special edge to deal with things that are easily accomplished. You know, if I were to leave you right now with a bit of advice, it will be one from David Henry Thoreau, who said, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined." You know, but getting there is not the complete picture. The key is to work smart. Work smart means being able to leverage the position you're in to pursue objectives that are meaningful to you. For me, making a difference in the lives of others is something I value. Thus, I learned to work smart and leverage my position to achieve goals that impact my community. For example, for the first time in the labor movement, we have created a constituency organization specifically for Asian Pacific Americans, and that is APALA. APALA is the Asian Pacific American Labor Alliance, which has given voice to Asian Pacific American trade unionists. I'm proud to have been part of APALA's founding, and I am especially proud of the fact that AFSCME is able to channel resources to APALA's endeavors. As a matter of fact, our strongest chapter in APALA happens to be one from Seattle. Let me also add that working smart means using your position of influence so that you can make changes. At AFSCME, I've been able to increase the number of Filipino American employees, and I have never hesitated to recommend any one of us to be part of the AFSCME family. You know, even in the early 70s and 80s, AFSCME supported, through my urging, the Philippine labor movement in its courageous struggle for worker justice and human rights during the martial law. Today, AFSCME provides funding for political empowerment for the Filipino American communities. In California, through my recommendation, AFSCME funded the PhilVote programs. I'm going to stop right here. You know, once upon a time, I hear a phone ring, so it reminded me of something. You know, we're talking about success, and I've got to tell you, when I first got my cell phone, when my office gave me the cell phone, I thought, oh my God, I have arrived. I am successful. I am so successful. I have my own cell phone the office gave me, and what else could there be? Well, as I went through this, you know what I found more successful though? Being able to turn off that phone when I wanted to, because I had to, and I didn't care who called me because I was gonna call them back when the time was right. That was success to me. Anyway, let me go back to PhilVote. But I mean, it just reminded me, you know. So I am really proud that through my recommendation, AFSCME has been able to fund a great PhilVote project in California. Now, this was one of the pioneer programs that was able to register and educate Filipino Americans around the country so they would register and vote, and so that we could be counted, so that we could also educate them that they have to register for the census, because it is important for us to be counted in the census, because if we're not counted, we will not get the benefits that is due us because we don't have the numbers. Now, Seattle is one of the best projects, again, for this. And my friend Ellen is here, and one of the beneficiaries of the PhilVote project that has been in Seattle for a very long time. And I am very proud of this program because it now is in several states. Also, AFSCME is the strongest supporter of NAFA. Vic mentioned it to you, the National Federation of Filipino American Associations. It has programs that has really united Filipino Americans around the country so that we could address the issues that affect us. Let me just say for a second, I am a firm believer in one organization, in one national organization that represents all of us when it comes to issues that affect us. Because it is the same even if you're Ilocano, Cebuano, Sambaleño, it does not matter. You are still Filipino American, and the issues are still the same for all of us. It is still okay for you to have your organization, the Ilocano, the Rising Boholanos, the United Sambaleños, the Not So United Sambaleños, and it is okay. But please keep in mind that it is very important that we speak in one voice as we lobby for issues that affect us. And I'm so happy to hear what the governor has done for our veterans. It is long time coming. It is a 50-year injustice, and we should never stop until those veterans get the full benefits because they gave their lives. They put their lives on the line to fight for this country, and by George, they should not be left behind. You know, I say this all to you, and it is not about patting myself on the back. It isn't. It is to encourage you to believe that when you have invested so much of yourself in your organization, in your place of work, and that you have credibility, you will gain influence. And never hesitate that it is also your right, because you have earned it, that you should influence your organization and your place of work to address issues that affect your community. As city employees, I encourage you to actively engage yourself and engage the city officials to pay attention to the needs of your community. By doing this, you are really working smart. In fact, you are in a better position to accomplish this because you are organized. Through the collective effort of FACES, much can be accomplished. You have far more assets than others have. You have a viable organization, a decade of history, and collectively, you have the ability to build a path others can walk toward your success. You know, FACES can advocate for upward mobility for Filipino American city employees. All of us want to see more Filipino Americans in managerial and policy-making positions. FACES can also be an advocate on how the city allocates its resources. For example, now you know why I asked Ron to leave. For example, the City Parks Department should make more investments in facilities that are being used by the community, such as the Seattle Center and Seward Park. More recently, the Filipino American Community Center is being impacted by light rail. So we should seek financial assistance from the city of Seattle to help with the relocation or renovation. Again, FACES should be in the midst of this project and apply pressure to the city to take on actions that will benefit the Filipino American community. Be smart by working together. There is strength in numbers. In the labor movements, this is so fundamental. When people come together, they are empowered. That's why I hope FACES will expand its membership to include county, state, and federal workers and build a true solidarity between all Filipino American public employees. There are numerous issues that are everybody's concerns, and let me mention some of them. The diminishing government resources, fair wages, decent benefits, job security and dignity, immigration, hate crimes, affirmative action, healthcare, and social security. All these affect us. Regardless of what we call ourselves, the type of work we do, the organization.
Chosen field began to lead me into the political arena. but not politics as you see in me today. It was the 1970s. Many of my classmates were drafted into the military to fight a war in Vietnam. Around the same time, President Ferdinand Marcos had declared martial law in the Philippines. As the Vietnam War escalated, Marcos's human rights violations increased. Thousands of Filipinos were being jailed, and the Philippine economy, already in a depressed state, became unbearable. Those that had any education at all wanted out. They came to the United States. By 1975, it was clear. We had lost the war in Vietnam. Our brave men and women were coming home. Some were maimed, others were hurt so deep inside their being they could never be the same again. And still, others came back in wooden boxes. Those that survived needed medical care, but the medical personnel were in short supply here in the United States. Americans demanded the right to good quality health care. Doctors, nurses, medical technologists were recruited from abroad, and guess where they came from? The majority of them came from the Philippines. It is the largest exporter of human labor even today. And the people there spoke English, and they were ready to leave the country. Thousands of Filipino doctors, nurses, and medical technologists and other medical personnel were brought to the United States under what was called an H-1 working visa. In California, where I grew up, these medical professionals could work in their medical professions for 2 years. At the end of the 2-year period, they were made to take an examination that was geared for US graduates. Hundreds failed the exam and began to work as nurses' aides, physicians' assistants, or medical claims examiner in insurance companies like Blue Shield. These professionals became part of the cheap labor of the United States medical industry. Not yet out of college, I remember working for an organization called the National Alliance for Fair Licensure for Medical Graduates. I taught review classes for the state board examination. Listening to the stories of those medical technologists, sharing their pain of their lost dreams and understanding the injustices that they experienced, these healthcare professionals instilled in me a passion for peace, justice, and fairness. I became involved in the anti-martial law movement in the United States. I joined an organization called Katipunan ng Mga Demokratikong Pilipino. In short, we called it the KDP. It had 2 goals. 1, to support the nationalist movement in the Philippines, and 2, to fight for peace and social justice here in the United States. I protested our government's support of the Marcos dictatorship, and every time I had an opportunity, I joined others and voiced my opinions in rallies, teach-ins, and demonstrations. I moved from California to New York. I had no problem finding a job. My medical technology degree assured me of a job in any doctor's office or a medical clinic in the country. I worked in hospitals as well. Finally, I would become what I've always wanted to be, an alpha-fetal protein researcher. You know what that is? Nope. Doing research on women who got pregnant at the age or over the age of 35 to find out whether their babies would be more susceptible to abnormalities. But before I could finish, 2 of my friends, my kasamas, Jean Viernes and Selmy Domingo, members of the KDP, were killed by the Marcosist regime. Their deaths made all of us who were involved in the anti-martial law movement regroup and intensify our efforts to stop US government support for the dictatorship.
Well, I didn't play any Haydn today, and I love Haydn, and so I'll play the last movement of a sonata in E minor by Haydn.
Trimpin has that childlike love of sound and music and instruments and the unknown.
His studio is like a jewel box, and it's almost as though you have walked into Trimpin's brain.
I look at the things he does, and I can't fathom how he figures out how to do them.
Genius. Sure, Trimpin's a genius. That word was invented for him.
Along the whole route here. So here we got a nice chip and guacamole. Can you?
Absolutely amazing.
Very gorgeous.
Excellent.
Morel mushroom. Oh, I love the morel mushroom.
And then we've got our salsify soup, and then we have crab mac and cheese in here as well.
Take a bite, and then small bite, then you can describe it for us. The medley of
I don't think I
flavor.
can get a meat with the small bite, so we're going to go with just a little bit of rice, actually.
And the vegetable. Okay. So what's happening for the texture?
The texture is fabulous. Best pie I've ever had on a paper plate.
Here's the beautiful pork sandwich. Robert, I think you'll be scarfing that down.
That pork sandwich possibly has my name all over it.
Kind of premiering some crostini.
We have the miniature dinner rolls and homemade potato salad. I made it myself.
Homemade potato salad.
And my thought is, I wish that I wasn't married and I could get married to Joe Morris and he would have a wedding cake made entirely out of potato salad.
Ooh, a wedding cake made potato salad.
so cute. Good morning, babe. I love it. Love it.
If you're looking for a new job, I know someplace that's hiring.
You're working with me today.
Wait, I'm supposed to work? I thought I was here for an interview.
What's your favorite color?
What?
Welcome to Spiffy Jiffy.
Hey.
This is your new universe. That's not true. You are not here. The point is to not exist. Dory, where the hell? That's what I'm talking about.
Found something alive in the toilet. This thing is blue. Bright blue.
We're having this focus group on Thursday. I mean, you just eat a bunch of cookies and talk about them.
Woo!
So you have abdominal cramps and you say you've been seeing things? Do you think maybe you're eating too many cookies?
Feels like I'm not eating enough.
Where did this come from?
Semi-aggregate intestinal fauna. SAIF. Safe.
I gotta go to the can, man.
You're saying I'm pregnant.
And you're telling us that's all serious.
Tracy, put the aerosol down. Right here, right now, we're gonna make it happen. I cannot get the white balance right. Here we go. Take one, scene one. Action, baby, action.
I was a janitor not too long ago, and now I direct movies. I don't know how that happened.
Well, okay, so the good thing is that you can see the Immaculate Conception of Little Dizzle here at SIF.
Conception of Little Dizzle here at SIF.
Here at SIF.
Opening weekend, Saturday at 4 at SIF Cinema.
Yep.
And Saturday at 4
at SIF Cinema.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, way. Well, we're just here taking a quick little time out. We're exhausted from all this partying. So watch this. Are you exhausted
Watch
too?
this?
Watch this.
Watch this.
I am a conservationist, and that is my business, getting in trouble. I am here to say things people do not want to hear and to do things people do not want to see. I'm here to piss people off. That is my job. We have sunk whaling ships in the past. We've sunk any vessel that's not complying with the international law.
I've been told that the captain of the Nissan Maru wouldn't hesitate from ramming us.
He exposes himself to deadly dangers.
One of the gutsiest guys, if not the toughest guy I've ever known.
All social revolutions throughout history have been carried forth by the initiative and vision of individuals or small groups of individuals.
I can't abide doing nothing.
Well, it looks like it's time to kind of wrap up our coverage of the opening night, SIF 2009. It has been a fantastic evening. Great films, great people, awesome style, really good food.
Good potato salad.
Yeah, very good potato salad shaped like a wedding cake, one would hope. Hey, now make sure that you look over the entire schedule of the films in SIF this year, put together your own personal little choices of movies, and come on down to all the theaters taking part and enjoy what is SIF. SIF makes Seattle a great place to live, and you can find it out for yourself. So,
let's go get a drink.
Let's go get a drink. Okay, bye-bye.